Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, July 2nd through Sunday, July 8th, 2018. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Power Angel Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine for the main message for everyone. And your special message card, depending on your stone of choice this week, will be coming from the Crystal Angels Guidance deck, which is by Doreen Virtue. So before we look at the stones of choice and get into the astrology for the week, I just wanted to again say that we're in the first full week of the new month of July. So we're over halfway through now this year of 2018. If you want to hear the overview of the month of July, you'll want to make sure that you go to my YouTube channel under Colleen Lemma and watch the monthly angel card reading. We're now in this month of July in the vibration of the moon card from the tarot, and this is going to be a month of emotions and bringing up things from the subconscious level. So again, that monthly angel card reading will go more in depth regarding that. Also, I want to make an announcement, as I have, I think, in the last couple of videos, that I am now on Instagram, as well as those of you that follow me on Facebook. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram as well, as I'm just starting to get into that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at your stones of choice. So your first stone of choice is moonstone. Now moonstone comes in a variety of colors. This one happens to be kind of a milky, creamy, almost with a tint of orange, cream colored stone. And this moonstone is going to help with balancing your emotions and balancing your oversensitivity. It helps to get you in touch with your own inner intuition. It helps with remembering or connecting with your dreams in the dream time. And it also, because it is moonstone, of course, it's ruled by the moon, so we have a connection to the goddess energies with this one. And then your second stone of choice is ocean jasper. Ocean jasper, this one's going to be soothing and healing to the emotions. It's going to bring a peace of mind. It's going to help with attaining patience, and it also brings in an energy of the feeling of interconnectedness with all things. And then your last stone of choice is called morganite. This morganite is kind of a slightly pink stone. It almost looks like rose quartz, but morganite helps to stimulate and cleanse the heart chakra energies. It actually helps you to get in touch with the energies of love and wisdom. It brings a sense of calm and balance. And it also connects you with creativity or creative self-expression. All right, so then again, your stones of choice are the moonstone, the ocean jasper, or the morganite. So let's talk a little bit about the astrology for the week. Now, we just came off of a full moon in Capricorn last week, and as we enter this month of July, we're entering eclipse season. So again, if you've read my monthly article on Angel Messenger, or I also post that monthly article on my Facebook page, or you've watched the monthly video, you'll know that this month and August are full of eclipses. We have a new moon solar eclipse this month, we have a full moon lunar eclipse, and then in August, another new moon solar eclipse. Now this week, we don't have any eclipses happening, but because we're starting to get into that dark of the moon phase with the moon in its waning cycle, it is a releasing time period. And because this releasing time period, or this week, is leading up to next week where we have that new moon solar eclipse, it might be a little bit more emotional than most, or a little bit more bringing up our emotions and things on the subconscious level. And some of the astrology this week does talk about that. And actually, the first thing of significance happens on Thursday the 5th. Actually, everything seems to be from Thursday on through the rest of the week. And On Thursday the 5th, we have the Sun in the water sign of Cancer, which rules home and family and nurturing, our emotions and our emotional body, our sense of sensitivity, intuition, also connecting with those close to us, not just our family, but those people that are emotionally close to us that we may consider family. So the Sun in that water sign of Cancer is positively connecting with Jupiter in water sign Scorpio. And this happens very early in the morning Eastern time, 7:04 a.m. So we're going to feel this start to approach on Wednesday the 4th of July as well. Now, I want to go ahead and skip ahead to the 8th, the Sunday the 8th, which is our last day of the week, because the Sun, still in Cancer, is now going to be in a positive connection to Neptune in the other water sign of Pisces. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because these three planets, the Sun in Cancer, Jupiter in Scorpio, and Neptune in Pisces, are forming what's called a Grand Trine in water. Those three signs of the zodiac are all of the water signs, and they're all signs that rule the spiritual realm, the emotional realm, intuition, psychic perceptions, healing energy, you know, that going with the flow kind of energy of the emotional body. So with this Grand Trine, and because Jupiter is really pretty much at its stationary point, meaning next week, Jupiter will be turning back to direct motion at 13 degrees of Scorpio. So Jupiter is pretty much stationed. It's not moving, okay? It's getting ready to turn directions, which is going to intensify the energies of this water Grand Trine. So what could this be about? The Sun rules our identity, our personality. Jupiter rules our belief systems. Especially in Scorpio, it's our belief systems about our sense of power. And also it can expand. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It can expand all those scorpionic tendencies like death and rebirth, transformation, transmuting lower vibrational energies, secrets, issues of power and control, and again, our belief systems about power and control there. And then Neptune rules the spiritual realm, and it rules things that are unseen or intangible. You know, it's very difficult, you know, to really have clarity with Neptune energies. It sometimes brings in this idea of confusion or illusion, or again, wearing rose-colored glasses where things aren't clear. So again, this Grand Trine is going to bring up a lot of emotional things, a lot of subconscious energies. Again, energies regarding our spiritual belief systems, maybe about home and family and our connections to other people, maybe about our own emotional nature and what we're going through, perhaps again about our sense of power or empowerment. Or things about abuse or power and control. So all of these things are kind of churning as between, well, like I said, it's going to start approaching Wednesday, but really starts to connect on Thursday through Sunday, this Grand Trine energy. Now in between, also on Thursday the 5th, we have Mercury, which is in Leo right now, and Mercury rules our mind, it rules our thoughts, it rules communications with other people. It's going to be opposing Mars, and Mars is the warrior planet. Mars is about action, it's about energy, it's about forward movement. Now, interestingly enough, Mars is also at a stationary point because it just last week went into retrograde motion. So it has not yet totally picked up speed and started to move, okay? In this case, it's moving in what we call a backwards motion or a retrograde motion. But it's kind of at a stationary point as well. So this opposition with Mercury and Leo, which is very creative, you know, creative of the mind, because again, Mercury rules the mental realm. It's going to intensify these energies because Mars is at its stationary point. And Mars is, of course, in the opposite sign of Aquarius, which is a very intellectual, social, humanitarian, idea-oriented sign. Normally, Mars in Aquarius would really move forward on these new ideas, you know, these Aquarian, humanitarian, scientific, you know, new age, or moving into futuristic ways of thinking. Now with it retrograde, it's internalizing that energy. And again, with Mercury opposing it, I feel like what can really happen here is First of all, on a challenging end, there can be some difficult communications with other people. There might be like a push-pull kind of energy within these communications with other people. But on the positive end, because Mercury is so creative in the sign of Leo, I feel like it can bring up a lot of new creative ideas as far as where we want to go next, or what we want to accomplish, or maybe things that we're working on and we have this upsurge of, new ideas or new directions that we want to move in. So there can be some positive and some challenging effects with that. Also on Thursday and into Friday, the 6th, the moon is in the sign of Aries, which can be very emotionally reactive because the moon rules our emotions and our feelings. And Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, is naturally ruled by the planet Mars, which is the warrior planet. So here we have emotional reaction. And on Thursday and Friday, it makes some very challenging aspects. It first makes a challenging aspect to Saturn and Capricorn, which might have this restrictive feeling as far as our emotions, or a frustrating kind of feeling. It then squares the Sun in Cancer, which can bring up some things within our own sense of self, or self-identity crisis, or not feeling positive, or again feeling a little bit of anger or frustration. And this can also be within home and family matters too, because the Sun is in Cancer, that rules home and family. And then the moon will challenge Pluto, and Pluto's also in Capricorn, but this can again bring up some deep subconscious insights, but through our emotional nature. So we might feel a little bit, again, emotionally reactive or oversensitive to energies. Again, that feels like a little bit of a challenge here, as Saturn is opposing the Sun. Okay, Saturn's in Capricorn, it's opposing the Sun in Cancer, and the moon is challenging both of those. So again, it has an emotionally difficult kind of challenging feeling to it. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. I feel like it was a little bit confusing as I was trying to explain that and jumping from Thursday to Sunday with that Grand Trine, but hopefully you got the gist of what's going on there as far as the astrology. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides and see what they have to say for the week. Okay, so the first card is the Four of Michael. The Michael suit in this particular deck is Swords, which is about the mind. This is about the mental realm. The number 4 does have a little bit of a restrictive kind of energy to it. You think about 4 corners in a box, and sometimes we put ourselves in that box and we don't allow ourselves any flexibility or any room to grow or expand or look at other options. So the 4 can have that, again, limiting or restricting effect. The number 4, though, is also about structure and being grounded. So this can have a dual energy of needing to be grounded on a mental level, needing to be focused on a mental level, but also it can have that restricting, limiting effect, as far as our thoughts and our ideas and where our belief systems go, all those things of the mind. The message at the bottom of this says, insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, and seek relief from stress. So we have that stress factor, that challenge factor that I've talked about this week with the astrology. And I do feel like, a lot of times when we have emotions that are challenging, whether it be depression or frustration or anger or, feeling restricted or limited, which brings again that stress, it does create a sense of feeling more physically tired, or at least mentally tired. So again, we might be going through some of that on a mental level, some sort of frustration energies. It's important for you to take some downtime, get extra rest, make sure that you're, doing your meditation so that you can calm and balance your mind as we move throughout this week. Again, this whole month of July, with the eclipse energies, as well as that vibration, as I spoke of in the beginning of this video, it being an 18 universal month energy, which again is explained in that monthly angel card reading, it's going to bring up the emotional energies, because the 18th major arcana in the tarot deck, as most of you know, or some of you know, is the moon card. Okay, so the moon is going to be prominent within this month's energies. Let's take a look at the second and third card. They came out together as I was trying to pull the second card, so we're going to take a look at both of these. And we have another Michael card, or another Swords card, and this is the Knight of Michael. And at the top it says strong, committed, intellectual, and diligent. At the bottom it says time to move quickly, choose logic over emotion, and sudden changes. Now, I know the first sentence says time to move quickly, but I'm not feeling like that's the main message of what this card is in this particular reading. Only because we started out with the Four of Michael, which talks about, you know, kind of slowing down the mind or balancing the mind or feeling a little bit restricted or frustrated or needing to, you know, to get a little bit extra rest and quiet time. With this, I feel like this is about some perhaps sudden changes or redirections on the mental level. And I'm going to even put in the emotional level, even though this is a mental card. And that's because of, you know, Mercury opposing Mars earlier in the week. And one thing I didn't mention, because it's going to be a part of next week's weekly reading, but early on Monday the 9th, so we're going to feel this on Sunday starting to come in, Mercury, the planet of our thoughts, ideas, our communications, is also going to be challenging Jupiter on that day. Now, Mercury, by the time we get to Sunday and Monday, is going to already have moved into its shadow period because it's getting ready to go into retrograde motion later this month. And Jupiter, as I mentioned earlier, is at its stationary point. It's at a standstill. So that Mercury challenging Jupiter on Monday, which we're going to feel on Sunday this week, is going to, again, be intensified with its energies. And so I feel like there's going to be some sudden changes and maybe some sudden unexpected communications is what I really feel here, since this is a card of the mental realm. Some maybe thoughts that come in that overtake you. I feel like those are more maybe some challenging thoughts, but it could be some positive thoughts as well, some creative thoughts, thoughts about new ideas. And how it says choose logic over emotions, because this is going to be a week where both our logic and our thoughts versus our emotions and how we feel is going to be prominent as well because of the moon activity going on. So as this says, choose what seems logical in this case over letting your emotions get the best of you, because the Knight here, as we're looking at right now, the Knight is a younger energy, and sometimes the Knight can be a little bit immature and reactive. So let's take a look at this card. Wow, now we have the King of Michael. So we're still in the Michael suit, very interestingly enough. And the King is a little bit more mature than the Knight. And it says, principled, rational, ambitious, and respectful. He looks really grounded as he's standing there, right? And the message at the bottom says, wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. So I like how that follows the Knight of Michael, because remember we talked about things coming in suddenly, or people being reactive with their communications as well as their emotions, and that we need to choose the logic or the intellect over the emotion. And then this one follows us up by saying that wisdom and being objective are going to be very important. And you have to stay in a place of integrity. You have to stay grounded this week. You have to stay balanced this week mentally. And again, in communications, make sure that you're open and honest. Now, I'm going to add not reactive, okay? Not frustrated or reactive, but open and honest. So you're going to be forthright. You're going to be forthcoming in what you're speaking to other people. Just make sure that you're balanced and centered before doing so. And let's take a look at the last card. It'll be interesting if it's another Michael card. No, this is Major Arcana number 21. And this is the last of the Major Arcana. It's called the World card. And in this deck, it's ruled by Archangel Michael. And he's the warrior angel. He's the angel that leads us to the next step on our destiny path, and he helps to remove challenges and obstacles and pull cords to lower vibrational energies. The World card says a very happy ending, coming full circle, and spiritual growth and insight. And I feel like with that water Grand Trine, as I say that, spiritual growth and insight is really what that water Grand Trine with the Sun in Cancer, Jupiter in Scorpio, and Neptune in Pisces is going to be all about. So, you know, it's going to heighten our empathic abilities, our intuitive and psychic abilities, our healing abilities. It's going to, again, give us those deep spiritual insights as far as our growth and evolution. And that's one of the messages of this card. Now, it does say a very happy ending, but some of the cards previous here look to be a little bit challenging, at least on the mental level. I feel like there's endings coming up, and I feel like, you know, if it's not this week, it's going into next week, which is, again, going into that more dark of the moon phase before that first solar eclipse happens. So know that there's something that's coming to a conclusion. It might be circumstances or situations of a physical nature, but again, with the previous cards being all mental cards, I feel like this could be we're coming to the end of a way of thinking, or the end of a way of believing about ourselves, our lives, our path, something of that nature. So we're releasing and letting go of old, outmoded ideas and belief systems, I feel. At the very least with this. So call on Archangel Michael as you move forward this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. So we're going to give this a little bit of a shuffle here. I'm going to call in our guides, and this one I feel like is for the Moonstone people. This is Sujolite, and it says, own your divine power. At the bottom it says, replace codependent people-pleasing with assertiveness and empowerment. Okay, and Sujolite is a purple stone. It's a very high vibrational stone. It's a stone that deals with spirituality and being a humanitarian and compassion and unconditional love. And you know, as I look at this card, I feel like you're being offered some sort of blessing or some sort of gift. I feel like this is of a spiritual nature. So your angels and guides are giving you something, again, of a spiritual nature, a gift, a blessing, that's going to be helpful for you as you move throughout this week. Again, this is about owning your divine power. And we do have the moon squaring Pluto this week. So, you know, Pluto is the planet of power and empowerment. And as I mentioned, Jupiter is in Scorpio, and it's at that stationary point. So it's really highlighting or intensifying our belief systems regarding our own power. Let me see if there's anything else here that I can see regarding this situation. I really feel like meditation is important for you this week, and balancing all of your chakras. You know, sometimes I tune into one particular chakra, but in this case I feel like all of your chakras, you know, from the crown chakra down to the root chakra, you really need to go through and do a nice little meditation, visualizing the color of each chakra and making sure that it's balanced. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card for people that chose the Ocean Jasper. Okay, this one here, oh boy, I'm really drawn to both of these, so I'm going to pull both of them. All right, let's take a look at this one first. Multifaceted with titanium rainbow quartz. And it says, there are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person that you're asking about. So this tells me that whatever situation or circumstance or relationship matter that's going on in your life, it's not something very simple, cut and dried, or black and white. This, I feel like this deals with past life patterns, karmic patterns. I feel like this deals with a lot of situations that you've had in this lifetime as well, previous, that there's layers to this, that it's emotional, that it's mental, it's spiritual, and maybe physical if it's dealing with a health matter. But there's a lot of things happening with whatever situation you're dealing with that might be, you know, of a challenging nature. Let's go ahead and maybe we can get more information from that other card here that I felt also wanted to come out. Okay, this is Amber, and it says, give it to God. Okay, and so before I even read the bottom, they're saying, because this is so multifaceted, as it says on the other card, because it involves so many different layers or different energies, They just want you to give it to your angels, give it to God, give it up to the universe to take care of. And it says, take a deep breath and exhale, release the situation to God for healing and for answers. So if you're looking for some sort of answer to some confusing or chaotic kind of situation, again, there's a lot of things involved here. It's not just cut and dried and simple. So give it up to the universe, give it up to God, and ask for clarity, ask for help, ask for a sign as far as where you need to go next with that. And then for those of you that chose the Morganite, let's give that a little shuffle, and this one here is calling me, Morganite people. And this is Angelite, and it says spiritual or religious community. And it says, join with like-minded people for friendship and increased spiritual support. So the first thing I'm getting is that that's not just about this week. I feel like this is going to be about the next month and maybe even the next couple of months with some of the changes that the eclipses are going to be bringing into your life. And so it might be important for you to join like a spiritual support group, or just call a few friends and ask them if they want to, meet once a week or once every other week to kind of talk with them, support one another, listen to one another, maybe offer some guidance or assistance to one another. So this can also be an online chat room or an online group, or maybe you're taking a class right now and you want to suggest that some of the members exchange phone numbers and kind of have a little bit of a either phone or in-person kind of network going on. This just is really saying that other people and connecting with other people that have similar belief systems and are like-minded are going to be very helpful for you. Angelite, they're reminding me that Angelite is the stone. It's kind of a beautiful blue stone, so it helps with throat chakra and clear communication, speaking with unconditional love and compassion. And of course it has that word angel in it. So I feel like, again, your angels are guiding you, and in this case they can guide you to those people that will be able to help you and form that sense of friendship, camaraderie, support, or a group kind of connectedness that might be helpful to you as you move forward. So I hope you've all liked this weekly angel card reading. Thank you so much for all of you that support me and share your wonderful comments with me, share my videos. I send you all lots of love and light, and I send you many, many angel blessings.